News Talk 710 KURV. Caffeinated gum, new product out there. And we also read that the Food and Drug Administration is looking into this caffeinated gum because, after all, much like contraceptive, it's now available over the counter. Doctor of Internal Medicine, Dr. Al Johnson on 710 KURV. Dr. Al, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. It's my privilege.
Why do I get the feeling we should be talking a bit more about a contraceptive over the counter? But let's talk about caffeinated gum. So, what is the FDA going to be conducting over the next several weeks or months?
Well, it appears like that they are becoming more and more concerned about caffeine being added to foods and items that we take into our body. Back in the 1950s, they approved caffeine to be added to drinks, and of course, it's been expanded recently in the big market of energy drinks. When they start adding it to foods, common foods, then it becomes a greater issue and of more concern in the sense that those foods are traditionally taken as nourishment, and now you're getting added jolt of caffeine with it, and caffeine is a toxic substance. It's a psychoactive stimulant, and you begin getting toxic effects in adults at 1,000 milligrams a day, and it's not supposed to be used in children. The pediatric physician's stance is that children and adolescents shouldn't have caffeine.
But, Doctor, we're getting so much more done these days.
Well,
all joking aside, I understand your concern.
That's the whole thing. Is more seems to be better. Is the attitude with instant feedback. And in high school, in school, we need concentration. We need focus. And these kids are being hyped up, so they're more kind of more weak, but it's hard for them to focus. If you're hyped up, sitting there jittering, pulling your pencil, you can't sit still. And they took the sodas out of a lot of the schools because the sugar is hyping people up, and of course of the added empty calories. And now they're adding coffee bars back in, which just adds sugar and caffeine again.
What other?
They're adding it to food, which the FDA does rule and determine what goes into our foods from an additive standpoint, whether it's preservatives or whatever.
Doctor of Internal Medicine, Dr. Al Johnson on 710 KURV.
Yeah, we mentioned gum, Dr. Johnson. What other foods are they adding caffeine into?
Snack foods, jelly beans.
What?
Just any type of thing where they can control, it seems like, or get some of the energy stimulant market. It's a big.
Is most of this just a marketing ploy, Doc?
Well,
or they just put like a little trace of, it's like wheat. To say, well, now wheat bread. They just put a little trace in the mix, and they can claim it has wheat in it. Is this the same thing where they just put a little trace of caffeine and the jelly bean batch, and they can claim that these jelly beans are caffeinated?
The data, at least that I've seen, is that there's a significant amount of caffeine in a jelly bean helping, which is like 5 jelly beans. You're talking about 5 to 10 milligrams of caffeine, as I understand it, per jelly bean. So it's not just the drop that's there. It's actually looking at where you get the stimulatory factor out of the jelly beans. And the caffeine stays around for about 7 hours in your body.
Will this be on the label? Will this be on food labels? I guess it has to be under FDA rules, but I guess it's all more important now that we read food labels.
It's supposedly marketed to adults, but who eats all this stuff?
Yeah.
And then, we have adults in general population are overweight. We don't lead healthy lifestyles, and we're using all these stimulatory substances to help counteract a healthy lifestyle and to get us through the day. And then if you have enough caffeine in you, you don't sleep well at night, so it's just a continuous circle of stimulation, taking something to sleep, and then beating your body up.
Vicious cycle. So we hear this report that the FDA is looking into gum. Some days back, all in the news was those sports drinks, those energy drinks. Is the FDA looking into those as well?
I'm sure they are. Just what that means and who's drinking those. I did a talk show, I think, with you a while back about sport drinks and alcohol mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using that so that they can party harder and longer. It doesn't make sense. People are looking at easy ways to do whatever and to be obsessive. And so what is healthy? Yeah, not everybody, but, numerous people enjoy a cup of coffee. Well, a cup of coffee is fine, but now, bigger is better. They got grande cups. You buy the 24 ounces. That has a lot of caffeine in it. One tall Starbucks has 260 milligrams of caffeine. And you start reaching toxic levels at 4 tall Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
You get double shot. You get double.
There you go, all in one.
Boy.
Dr. Johnson, it's a pleasure as always. Dr. Al Johnson, Doctor of Internal Medicine, our guest on 710 KURV.